CVA's Accura Series, Bergara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
This segment's being brought to you by 3rd Regiment Game Calls. Friends, family, and faith in the outdoors. One call at a time.
All right, everybody, this week's Pictures of the Week is being brought to you by the fine folks over at Flowers Garden Center and Deer Processing. They've already shut down the garden center for the year, guys, but they're going to be getting those knives ready for the deer processing at the end of September. They'll be open on September 28th with the opening of the regular archery season. And get on down there to get some of the finest snack sticks you ever put in your mouth. And I tell you, they've got a few new products coming out this year that Miss Deborah was telling us about last week. So get with them, tell them thank you for everything they do for us here on the show. All right, our first picture of the week this week, this is sent in by Jimmy Parrish, and this is a picture of a group of wild hogs, actually, that is on his place. And I tell you, that's becoming more and more common around the even the mid-state now. You know, we're getting a lot more hogs in this area, and that's a really neat trail cam photo there. We appreciate you sending that one in. That'll be entered in the contest. Our next one here, now this is a stud of a deer. This is a picture sent in from Jeremy Dean. And this is a buck that he's been watching for a little while now, and he calls him Captain Crazy. And he is a crazy looking buck. So we want to wish Jeremy luck this weekend. Hopefully he can catch up with that old deer. And if you do, we'd love to have a picture of him.
I'd like to catch up with him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a fine deer right there. Our next picture, this is a real pretty picture. This is sent in from Shane Collins, and this is a picture of a buck heading into a green field. I believe it's in August. I can't read the heading from here, but I believe it was in August when I saw it earlier. And just a nice kind of a foggy looking afternoon there.
Almost looks like a painting, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's heading in there to get him something to eat for the evening, and that's another great place to be set up this weekend too, just on these green fields. And a lot of those bucks getting in there feeding in the evenings. And now this one right here, this is one of my favorites so far. Now I'm not going to be one of the judges in the contest, but this is one of my favorite pictures so far. This is from Tyler Sism, and this picture is from last November. And this is a November morning in the woods with these couple of does here. And now that really looks like a painting.
It does too.
I mean,
it sure does.
Just as pretty as it can be.
Yep.
So we appreciate you sending that in to us, Tyler. And we look forward to, as this contest keeps going on, we get new pictures every day.
Who is going to judge?
And well, I've got 2 of the judges picked out, and there's going to be a 3rd one, but I believe it's going to be basically a panel of the Tennessee deer hunters of our admin. So you may end up being one of them for it.
Cool. Yeah.
But,
but
we're going to have 3 judges going to do that, and I'm going to step away from it, and those 3 are going to be choosing their favorites. Y'all can send your pictures to us here at 474 James Robertson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee. Better yet, get them to us on Facebook. We'll get them right here on the show just as quickly as we can. All right, guys. Well, when we stepped away, we were talking a little bit of deer hunting, and we actually had a question come in from Marty Cantrell. And Marty wanted to know if there was much chance of a buck putting on any much more mass, with these last few weeks left being in velvet. And Randall, what you want to kind of take on that and give a little bit of information on that?
The ones that I'm seeing right now, like up close there, the 25, 30 yards, they're mostly done, except out on the ends or something, They, like I said earlier, the actual fuzz that I call the velvet, it's really sticking out there now. It's starting to show velvet instead of membrane. They're starting to shed a little bit of their summer coat.
Yep, I've seen that too.
Yeah, I sure have.
You can start to see that, around their neck and shoulders especially. I don't know, nature, man, it's hard to answer a question. Or you got some that's probably still.
And they may put on a little more, in my opinion, but it would be very little. They have pretty much done
the end of the points where it's got the bulb, they might grow a little longer. But as far as
get a little more length.
Actual mass, I think what mass is there is what it's going to be.
That's right.
This is a time of year you might get your feelings hurt.
Oh, yeah.
That old big massive buck that you've been watching all summer, he done shrunk down. He's probably lost, if he's a 150-inch deer, he's probably lost 40.
That's right.
From shrinking, and he'll lose more when the velvet's
gone. He sure will.
If he looked good, if he looked good to you, he ought to look good to you now too.
Yeah.
They always do me.
That's right. That velvet can be deceptive too,
Oh,
you know,
a lot.
because you know, like you say, you think he's this big around, and it looks like he is, but you see that same deer on 28th of September, and he's going to be a totally different deer. You know, he might not be that big around, you know, by the time it comes to season.
I've been fooled with them forever. You'll see an old big buck, and you think, I want him, you know, and then you see him out there in the early muzzle load or something, you think, dang, that's
Is that
a
the
little
same
deer.
deer? Yeah, I know. I've been there too.
Yeah, they changed dramatically. But now, to answer your question, Marty, I really don't think that they will put on much more mass at this point in time. I think what you see is what you're going to get. You may get a little bit more length over the next, you know, a week or two, but they've just about done what they're going to do. So, and that's why they're having this velvet hunt as they are, because they're pretty much done doing what they're going to do for right now. You may still get a little bit more growth, but that'd be about it. I tell you, just let's hit a little bit on getting them. You know, you put all this time in, you finally get your buck over this weekend. Well, you better be prepared for what you're going to have to do to get him to the truck and get it in the cooler. I mean, you know, we're used to thinking about the meat and getting the meat to the cooler real quick and all that, and that obviously you want to keep that in mind. But there's something else. That velvet, now that stuff isn't on there very tight.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, it don't take much.
You're better off, like you know, you said, have you a tarp. Have you a couple buddies lined up?
Yeah.
And if you can't, I know my buddy Tim Rixey with Nature's Legacy Taxidermy, he told me, you know, if you'll take your time and, you know, grab one front leg, and you can, you know, lightly grab around the base, but just slowly pull, nothing drastic or anything. It's going to take you a while.
That's right.
But, you know, you can get it
That's
there.
where those buddies come in handy.
It
when
sure
you can have
is.
them.
That's
But,
right.
You know, I do suggest, and I'll give credit to Nathan Wilson and them up here at Wilson's Wildlife. You know, they give a lot of good tips. And matter of fact, they put out a great video the other night, and we shared it on the page, and they given some tips of theirs. But Nathan's the one that told me to carry just a little, I think it's a 7x10 tarp is what I got in the back of the truck. But if you get one down, you wrap him up in that tarp, not only does it help you drag him, but it'll help protect that velvet until you can get him to the truck. And then you want to get it froze just as fast as you can. Get it in the freezer and get it froze, unless you can take it directly to the taxidermist.
I know some people keep a couple bags of ice in a cooler.
Yeah.
You know, that way when they gut it, especially if they're going to, you know, if they're going to mount him, you know, they're not going to go up past the rib cage and just shove that whole bag of ice up there. Don't pour it out, just shove the whole bag in
as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And because that velvet is just like any other part of the deer. You got to remember that's covered in a membrane right now, basically, and there's blood around it, and this, that, and other. So it will go bad, and it'll go bad quick.
I know, guys.
It's live.
It's live. That's right.
Yeah.
He gets a couple like straps for tree stands, and he straps it around. He shoves that back, then 2 bags of ice up in there, and where he's gutted it, he just straps it, pulls it back together.
Yeah.
And you know that's
that core temperature down.
Yes,
as quick
it
as
sure
you can.
does. Yep.
It can.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen but maybe 3 killed in the early bow season, you know, in my life. And I think all 3 of them got toward, you know, just from the guy reaching down and grabbing his and go to dragging,
you got
man.
to be careful.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
The biggest thing is the antlers hitting on something and scuffing them.
Yeah.
It'll come off easier that way than it will basically you pulling it with your hand.
Yeah, or him crashing or something when he, you know, and if it does tear, you know, the problem is you can't repair it with that. You know, they can take and put new velvet on it.
Right.
But, once you get the quote on that, you might not be too tickled about it. So it's really important.
And just so people know too, most taxidermists, they charge you, I think it's about minimum $100 on a shoulder mount just for the velvet.
Just for the velvet
I think it's like a 5-day thing they have to do to
it's
prepare
a whole process.
it.
They basically have to tan that velvet.
And they got to mess with it every day, is I know the way Rixie was telling me about it.
Yeah. So that is something to keep in mind. And with that meat, you know, you hit on keeping a cooler with you, and usually when we're bow hunting early season, even if it's in September, a lot of times we'll have a cooler with us, and it's, I mean, get that meat in the cooler as quick as you can. it's not just, a lot of guys, well, it's going to lay there and spoil for you. It's not going to spoil that fast. But get to that deer and get him to a cooler or to a freezer as quick as you can.
Get his guts out.
Cut down and get deep. I usually will debone it before I even put it in the cooler.
Yeah, some people do that.
You can quarter it out even faster and get it to the cooler, and go ahead and start soaking that meat, and you won't have anything to worry about. It'll be just as good as it'll be in November. You just have to take a little bit more precaution this time of year with it. As far as getting it in, you can't ride around and show it to all your buddies and everything. You get you a couple of pictures.
Call them, tell them come meet you at the taxidermy shop.
Come meet you at the taxidermy or something. That's right. Because that's where a lot of guys go wrong with them, is they get them and they're excited about it, and they drive around to all their buddies' houses, and before you know it, they're cape slipping. And I can tell you just from the taxidermy work I've been around too in my life, that once that cape starts slipping, that's it. It's done. There's no bringing it back. So. It's something you really want to pay attention to. Don't ever let it start slipping, and you'll be all right. Yep. Guys, we're going to go over and do this week's product of the week. It's being sponsored by Caney Fork Outdoors. You can stop in and see them right there in Donaldson, right there at the Donaldson Plaza Shopping Center, or get on I-40 and head up there towards the Center Hill Dam, turn down towards the dam, and you'll see them right there at the Big Rock Market at the bottom of the corner. And I tell you what, they can get you outfitted for the whole season or for the day if that's what you want to do. And tell them thank you for everything they do for us right here at Southern Woods and Waters. All right, guys, we've been talking about getting these deer out. Now, this is from Jeff Jackson, and you guys both know Jeff. He's very involved with NWTF and other organizations, and member of Tennessee Deer Hunters. And this is, Jeff Jackson makes different totes. We used his turkey totes last year, and I loved them. Well, this is his new deer drag, and again, it's from Limb Hanger Totes. You can find them on Facebook. And order them right there, or contact Jeff Jackson on Facebook, either one. But this is his deer drag, and we've got a few other products we'll be showing over the next few weeks. But this is a good, solid handle on this thing. And you can take, now velvet deer, you don't want to do this, but you can run that on each of the bases of the antlers and pull him that way. Or for velvet season, just take it right around the base of his head, keep him lifted up off the ground, have that buddy kind of help keep the head up there. But I'm going to tell you, if this thing right here works half as good as those turkey totes do, I won't never go in the woods without it again, because those things are night and day. You don't think carrying that old turkey out over your shoulder is tough till you use one of those carriers, and you won't ever want to carry one out by hand again.
Especially if you want to carry one out over a mile, up down them hills.
But I tell you, these are just super high quality. I've loved everything that we've gotten from Jeff so far. We appreciate him so much sending this to us. And so again, look up Jeff Jackson or Limb Hanger Totes, and then you can get your very own deer drag, and you'll be ready to go this season. Guys, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to open the phone lines for you, let you call us right here on some more Southern Woods and Waters.
Your battery's going down.